Going, guys and girls, sometimes you never know. All right, Jeremy here, Chaos Garage. It is turbo time. All right, so we're gonna work on these headers for the turbos. Each side will be a little bit different, and we're gonna start with the famous truck header. These are very loved for this kind of job because of the simplicity. Literally, most of the time, you take the passenger side header, you flip it upside down and put it on the driver's side, and vice versa. But we got some extra things here that we don't need, so we're going to go hack that off. We're not going to run a heat shield style that it came with. It's just a metal aluminum plate going across there, or tin or whatever. We're going to basically hack off all the nubs, all the thread points like that, and then seal the holes, because it will cut through in one spot for sure I do know of. Let's see if I can show you real quick. Now right here, these guys, that shouldn't be a issue, but this one right here, it's got a hump on there on the side. That guy right there opens up inside, so I don't think you can see that. No, well, you will in a second when I open it up. So we're going to whack these guys off, make that smooth, make that smooth, make that smooth, and we're going to get rid of this guy. Now we're doing this, if you got a truck or an old school car or something like that, you might not need to worry about space, but I'm putting this in the C4 Corvette, so we need all the space we can in those areas, especially on this side of the header, because it's at the firewall or the heater core, all sorts of stuff. You know, we had a clearance one side out already, because the worst thing in the world is to fabricate this stuff and not leave enough room for your customer or the future buyer, to be able to get their hands in there. Heaven forbid you do it to yourself and you blow a gasket or something, or you just never know. Any kind of issue. Shoot, some guys run these headers so tight you can't even do a tune-up without actually taking the turbo system off of it. So I try to think ahead a little bit and not create these kinds of issues. So all right, so all we're gonna do is just basically work with one of my favorite tools, which is a 1/2-inch grind, 4.5 grinder with the cutoff wheel, of course. Alright, now I went and wire brushed these guys a little bit, got some of the bad rust off, but I don't focus on the ultimate clean until I'm ready to start welding again. And take a good look at it. So remember safety. Guys with the earphones, it's about to get loud. Oh, and yeah, this is why I have all these holes. So why buy a new one? You're gonna do it again, right? Alright. So what I'm going to do is aim the grinder across here and try to cut at the same angle as this curve. I don't want to just whack at it because I might cut inward too far or something. So I'll just basically try to aim at this and just slowly walk my way through. Now it's probably best to have a brand new one. So since I don't, I'm going to just walk through on one side, walk through, and walk through. And I'll probably need to replace it about that time. So I'll get most of the cuts off. We're done, and then we'll worry about continuing. So here you go. That's why you wear safety glasses. These get caught, or you just turn slightly while you're deep inside there and it'll blow apart. All right, so when you're cutting these guys, if you're not sure, you could always overcut, you know, meaning not overcut, but cut to where you think you're not actually going to get quite too low, but you're just slightly close to where you need to be, because you can always come back and grind that down better. So don't, remember, you can remove more easier than you can add, so add it back. Okay, so I'm back. All right, new wheel. And guys, if you're new at this, you're new to fabricating, new to grinders and stuff, go check out my tech tips. I have a little segment on different setups, how they work, the locks, all that stuff, so you can check that out. All right, so let's whack the rest of this off here. All right, so I'm going to give you a close-up real quick of what I got here. Now remember, this is just me being safe. Now you see, I left a little extra on there. And, you know, if you leave a bunch, you know, like on the back side here, you can come in at it again and trim that off. Same thing over here. Come at that again, but just remember, it's a round shape. So this is curved, which means you don't want to, you know, cut straight into this because you're going to end up cutting into that. So just kind of follow it, but I'm just going to whack it off a little bit right there off the edge, and then I might knock a little off there. I'm definitely going to knock a little off there and there. And again here, I'll do a little more off. But you can take a flat wheel, which is this guy, and grind that down pretty quickly too. So it's just a matter of, you know, getting the bulk of what you need off. You're not going to get, you don't want to get everything off. So just slowly work at it. That way you don't have to go back and re-add. And as you can see, there's that hole there I was telling you about. I'm going to knock a couple more spots down, and then we'll get that flap on here. All right, watch the ears. All right, so now I'll show you where we're at again. And we just got most of the nub off there, basically. And got that cleaned up a little better, as you can tell. All right, so now we're gonna grab our flat disc and get that bad boy on there and get it smoothed out better too. So it makes light work of this, and it does a very nice job. So. There's you over here. Okay, so all I did basically was just slowly work at it, take the high spot, work it down first, and then knowing I have curves here, I would come to the right side of the high spot, work it down to where I saw the corner disappear onto the normal metal. Then I come over here and do the same thing on that side, and then I would slowly work the top equal all the way around. And basically this is how it ends up looking. So let's see. All right. Now I got one more here to get taken care of, and then we'll need to repair this. We'll just lay a piece of plate on there and weld that up and then grind it all smooth again. And ideally you could take, since this is a curve, you could just take a piece of tubing, actually, mild steel round tubing, chop it, and then that way it's curved here also. And just trim out a piece to match this hole. All right. Now I've got to get rid of that, obviously, and I'm not worried about this yet because once we get this on the car, we need to figure out what direction our turbo is going to sit in. We know it's going forward, so how it's going to be captured, if it's going to be captured immediately, or we're going to extend from this this header itself over to the actual turbo further out. You know, we have to go through all this process, but we do know no matter what, we got to get them clearanced enough so they'll fit in the cars. So I'm going to go ahead and knock the rest of this grinding out and not bore you with that part. And once I get both these headers done, get them all cleaned up, and we'll go check to see if we can get them on the car. See what we got to do from there. Another thing I just forgot to mention. You might know this, but just in case you don't, when you're grinding with a flap disc or whatever, if you start seeing the metal darkening, stop. That means it's most likely getting thin. Now that's not a problem with these headers. They're so pretty thick, you really have to go crazy on them. And you're not really doing that. You're just getting the nub out. As long as you're keeping to the contour, keeping your roundness, you know, keeping that shape that you need basically to make sure that that is actually round, then that's not going to be a problem. So, well, this is the second one. Just got one more nub to get rid of, and grind that bad boy down, and we'll be ready to go and check these out on the car.